Hi, this is James Zhang with Old Capital, and we're here today with Jakob Andersen to talk about a new deal called The Loop. Jacob, thanks for jumping on. Why don't you give the audience a little background about yourself, and then we'll jump into this new deal.
Thank you so much, James, for having me. And yes, I'll start with kind of my background. Jakob Andersen. I'm the Senior Managing Director at Newmark here in Dallas. We are a office that trades about $2 billion of multifamily every year. And our latest assignment is the Loop.
So let's jump in. So I pulled up just sort of the pull shot here, the standard pull shot from a Class C multifamily. So tell us about the deal and sort of what you like about the deal and sort of a little bit about its background.
Absolutely. So here we have the Loop, which consists of 160 units up in Denton, Texas. This offering is offered all cash, so meaning with new debt available. Um, One of the unique features on this deal is it's rather big unit size. It's the predominantly is 2-bedroom unit, so you sit on an average square footage of 904 square feet per unit. The deal, when you look at it, it's a 1969 built deal, but it carries a lot of the traits of 1970s, 1980s construction, such as you can see, pitched roofs. You have the individual HVAC handlers that sits up on the roof, and it's got all individual electrical meters in the deal. It is well occupied. It's 95%, which is in line with the overall occupancy within Denton.
All right. And for people who don't know Denton or haven't been up there in a while, tell us a little bit about where Denton sits in the overall DFW market and sort of the unique characteristics of it.
Absolutely. So Denton, as marked here, sits north of Dallas and Fort Worth. You typically take 35 up to Denton. It takes you roughly 40 minutes from Dallas to go up to Denton. Denton has been known for having a big student population. They are the home of University of North Texas and also Texas Women's University. That has produced a little bit of a unique scene for DFW. You are seeing a lot of students start to stay up there. It's a big music scene, and some people actually call it kind of the mini Austin of DFW.
All right. And then I pulled up an aerial here just of sort of downtown Denton and sort of where this property sits within the vicinity. So maybe talk about sort of what's along the loop as you go south and then sort of downtown Denton.
Absolutely. So the loop sits on the east side of Dallas or Denton downtown. The main corridor is 35, and then you have the loop that cuts from 35 up on the east side of Denton downtown. That's where the loop sits. It sits on a street that counts 35,000 plus cars a day. The overall area where the loop sits is heavily single family, so you do not see a lot of competition nearby. And we will get into that later where we got our comp set from. It is local deals, but it's both on the south and the north side of the loop. You have south of there where you have the intersection of 288 and 35. You have the Golden Triangle Mall. It sits just about 6 minutes from the property. And if you cut straight through west from the loop, you have the new development called Racer Ranch, which is a master development with all the new retail in Denton.
All right. And then, so here's an aerial just to give you a feel. Maybe talk a little bit about the layout and sort of, a lot of sometimes properties of this size, like they don't have a leasing office, there's no amenities. Talk about sort of what this property has for 160 units.
Sure. So the loop is a well balanced asset. It sits on 160 units. Now you are sitting a little bit outside Dallas Fort Worth, so that unit count is actually a great fit for a city like Denton. On the amenity side, as you can see on the aerial here, you have your clubhouse in the middle that hosts the office. You have a fitness center there. You do also have a laundry center. Behind it, you have a pool and a playground. And throughout the property, you have a couple of gazebos with grilling stations. So for this type of assets, vintage, you actually have a good combination of public space and for tenants, common space for the tenants with amenities. There can be some tweaks done to the main building where you have the leasing office. And on tours, we will get more into the details of that.
All right. So here's a picture of the pool, dog park, that's already sort of set on the property. So maybe talk about the interiors, what the seller's done so far, and what there is to be done on it.
Sure. So what we're seeing here is a couple of pictures of the living space and the kitchen in one of their partners of the loop. The kitchen, to focus in on that, you will not see that picture throughout. This is an upgraded unit. They have done 14 units out of the 160s like this, where they have implemented black appliances. You see the backsplash and granite countertops as some of the features. Also, some upgraded flooring and light fixtures in the living room. They have done these, and they have gotten about $100, a little bit more than $100 on certain units that's got washer and dryer connections. Um, but you have ample amount of units left to actually continue to replicate what has been done, or matching some of the deals that are under renovation currently in Denton.
All right. So that's the interiors. Here we highlighted just some of the sort of details on the property. So pitched roof, the density, individual HVAC, boilers, and then so right now it's third party managed, right? And how many people are on site for the owner?
That is correct.
Okay.
It is third party management. Uh, right now, you are looking at two employees that works in the office, and you have two out on the grounds.
Okay.
So it's a four-person operation. And to your point, this is 1969. You are seeing traits again from what we see typically in the 70s and 80s with the pitch roofs, with the individual HVACs. So it mimics a lot of the assets we sell with that vintage.
All right. So here we broke out sort of the unit mix. Um, so talk about what they've done on upgrades, what you think it's going to cost, sort of interior rehabs to really drive that $100 a month in additional revenue per unit.
Sure. And what you saw earlier, that is basically what they have done. Now, what we see in the market from some of the sales comps, such as Eureka Village down the street, they're coming in, they're putting stainless steel in, and they are putting brighter colors in the units, and that works very, very well. Um, they have, and I think that is probably the approach that most people would be looking at doing. Um, the current finish out, it will run you about 3,500 to 4,000. It depends on the unit size. These are a little bigger, so it will cost you a little bit more to do the flooring and obviously paint the unit. But you would maybe be looking at adding a little bit to that and say it's about 4,500 to 5,000 if you want to kind of get to the next tier of rents.
Okay. So let's say 4,000 a door, and then you've got, let's call it 130 units to go.
Correct.
And then you can get about $100 more on the upgrade.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Any other, I know in the OM you listed a couple other things here for potential upgrades and maybe
Correct.
some additional income. Anything else you wanted to mention in terms of parking or connections or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are seeing certain trends in the market, and some of these have not been implemented at the loop. And here we are listing on this slide the potential exterior upgrades, which would include some cover parking. They do not have it. It's typically something we see in the market. trade for anywhere from $35 to $55. I think you could go in and modernize the office. We have seen several deals around it that has done that, and overall improve the curb appeal a little bit, on colorations and whatnot. On the interior side, again, to highlight one of the comps, Eureka Village, with the stainless steel appliance package, and the washer and dryer connections. It has been done successfully here with implementing is something that's well received by the tenants. So that's definitely something I would consider continue to implement. And again, just modernizing the color scheme, brighten up the units. And lastly, some water conservation. They have not changed any toilets at the property, so that's definitely something that can be done.
All right. So here we just broke out rent comps. Any of the ones that you want to highlight in that submarket that sort of are best comps for the loop?
Yeah, and to start kind of in the map over on the right side where we can see the loop, and we have numbered the comps correlating with the list here. And as you can see, we have a little bit of a distance to the comps. And if we had deals that were closer, we would probably pick them. But the loop does sit fairly secluded on 288, which I think it's a good thing. Either you need to go north or you got to go south to find a similar product. So the ones I would highlight, and they are in various stages of renovation, is 1920. They have low occupancy, and that's why we're also calling it out. It's under renovation because Denton is a pretty tight market, and does have a high occupancy rate. Now, we are showing some of these here that's got lower occupancy, and it is because they are basically getting to the units, they are renovating the units. The other one would be Eureka Village. It is a property we have sold not too long ago, and they are currently under renovations as well. Foxfire, the same, a deal we have traded not too long ago. And then Village East, that was just purchased not too long ago. It's a couple of weeks, so they're just getting started on their program.
All right. Let's see. So, I mean, there's definitely room in terms of interior upgrades, but when the lender looks at the property, they're going to really look at T3, T12, historical operations. And so right now, I think your whisper price is 16 million on this
Yes.
deal. And so we looked at it Fannie. Obviously, you could do a bridge as well and get a little bit higher leverage, but Fannie was coming in about 75% leverage on the deal, 2 to 4 years, interest only. And that's with, T3 net rental, T12 other income, and then sort of your standard expenses. So we did 3% management, 350 on G&A, payroll 1100, utilities T12, water and sewer at T12, R&M 600, insurance at 400 a door, and then taxes we brought up based on the new assessment. So overall, I mean, about $12 million on your new debt on this deal. And so I know the deal just got launched last week, Jakob, but I guess what's the best way for people to reach out if they're interested in the deal to maybe set up a tour and talk to you in more detail?
Absolutely. You feel free to email me. You see my email here on the screen, jakob.andersen@ngkf.com, or people can also call me. Direct line is 214-420-3106, and we can talk more details about the deal, but also set up a visit to the property, which I would highly encourage to fully understand the current setting and future opportunity.
All right, Jakob. Anything else that we can leave them with? I don't think a call for offers date is set, but any final thoughts on the deal here?
Not besides, I think this is a very much a middle of the fairway with plenty of opportunity left. Sometimes we see deals where most of the stuff has already been done. This is not the case here. You have a good sample size of what can be done. I think a sample size that can actually be expanded with other with other ideas from the submarket. So it is a really, really good starting point. but it holds a lot of value add left in a good market, which I consider Denton to be.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jacob.
Absolutely. Thank you.